Peace, love, and balance, everybody. Peace, love, and balance, y'all. It's your girl, Isha, the goddess of wisdom, also known as Goddess on the Rise, the Copper Queen, the Flower Hoodie Queen, bringing this sacred energy exchange 222, y'all. All right, y'all. So, y'all, it's Friday, it's Venus Day, and it's Holy Day. Happy Holy Day. Um, so, today I'm doing a live, a very important live. It's going to be covering the American Massacre, the Haitian Revolutionary War, as well as the Louisiana Revolt. Okay, this is a very, very valuable and important information that, like I tell you all the time when I talk about this stuff, some of us do know and some of us don't know, and sometimes you just need to be reminded. So for Black History Month, all right, these are the topics that we need to be discussing because Black history also just history in general about melanated peoples are no longer being taught in public school systems. So if you want your child to know about their history, our stories, we have to teach it to them, okay? And you have to even know it and to teach it to them yourself as the parent, even if you're auntie, you're a grandparent, because my grandparents taught me it. That's nothing. It was the village. You will learn about history at church. You see what I'm saying? Wherever it can be taught, it needs to be taught. You know, even my church, we talked about Black history. We talked about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and we during these times of month. So this time of the month, we need to be going hard. Okay, don't worry about what nobody else think. Okay, they can think what can they think? That this is the truth, and that they may try to deny and ignore and want us to forget, and we will not because it's still going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show some books that and even a DVD that I highly recommend y'all invest in and read. We need to get back to purchasing books. I know in the world of AI and digital stuff, everybody's just doing that. And I used to do that too. I used to buy music online, and then one day when I decided to stop buying music, the app would no longer play the music that I bought, and I couldn't download it. See, if there was a way for you to download stuff that you bought while you was paying for it, it'd be different because I can download it and put it onto a hard drive if I want to. Now, once you stop using that app, you lose your music or whatever you bought, and I don't like that. Okay, so I stopped doing that, and I'm back to buying DVDs and CDs and Blu-rays, y'all. That's what I've been doing. You have to keep copies. All right. So we're gonna start off with the Golden Age of the Moors. This is a book I highly recommend, y'all. This book cost me like $80 at the time. And sometimes when you find the NAS in the hundreds, I got this back in like 2020 or something when it first started surfacing up. It's the same author that wrote we came before Columbus, and I don't even have that book in front of me. I thought I did, but he wrote the book We Came Before Columbus. Same author. It's the same author that wrote We Came Before Columbus. If you do not know about that book, that's the that title of it, and the author is Yvonne von Sertima. All right, they came before Columbus, and then the Golden Age of the Moors, and then we have Black Empire, because we did have empires prior to enslavement and colonization and genocides. Okay, this book is probably very expensive or hard to find, but if you can find it, get it. This is how you look, so you can know. All right, make sure it looks like that. Both of these books, highly recommend. All right, and then we have, y'all know I've been talking about this book. This book right here, The Trail of Tears. I just did a live recently about some stuff on this, covering this topic of some very important information. If you go back to my last live, Returning to Our Roots Part 2, I talked a lot about information on The Trail of Tears. And then we have this book right here. We're really about to get into this. Zora Neale Hurston. It's called Tell My Horse, Voodoo and Life in Haiti and Jamaica. Let's ring the bell on that. Voodoo and life in Haiti and Jamaica. And that's what we about to really get into about today, about the history of voodoo and Haiti and Jamaica. Okay, they play big roles together, as well as Louisiana. Okay, as well as Louisiana. That book right there. And then we have 365 Days of Hoodoo. Highly recommend this book, 365 Days of Hoodoo. Okay, if you do not know what hoodoo is, go to my live that I just did about hoodoo and voodoo are closed practices and get a better idea of why and what it is, okay? And also, this is a great book to recommend. And then lastly, we're going to have by Tariq Nasheed, Hidden Colors, 1804, The Hidden History of Haiti, okay? We definitely, I did drop the video, The video is on YouTube right now. Somebody thankfully uploaded it. At the same time, we need to make sure people get compensated. So I purchased it. I actually purchased a copy because, like I said, at any point in time, somebody can take that video down and it's no longer there. Or if everything goes down, y'all need to have DVDs, cassette players, tape players, and some form of way, record players to play things. You got to be able to do that. So this one right here, like I said, I don't have it in front of me, but the book that came before Columbus as well. But those are the books that stood out to me today. So look, y'all, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. I took down a lot of valuable information and put something together to tell us today, okay? That we need to, like I said, some of y'all may know this stuff, some of y'all don't, some of y'all just need to be reminded, okay? All right, but I'm going to go into detail about some things that very much relate to what's going on within the United States and America and in other areas right now, especially if you live in America, okay? And if you are some type of immigrant or something like that, because y'all know what's going on with ICE and stuff, y'all really need to listen up. Everything that has affected us as indigenous peoples around across the land over the generations and decades and centuries is the same thing that's repeating right now. All right, that's why this stuff is important. It ain't just Black history no more. It never was. This is American history. So let's start off with Christopher Columbus, Mr. Christopher Columbus, y'all. So Christopher Columbus, they actually just renewed his something with his day. Trump signed this, okay? Trump signed. Here it is, right? Okay, hold on. Y'all be patient with me as I look for this stuff because I got it all here, but here it is right here. So born in Genoa, Italy. So Columbus was born in Italy, okay? Which is still a part of, I believe, Europe as well. All right, but born in Genoa, Italy in 1451, Columbus quickly emerged as a titan of the age of exploration. So he was just that's why they call him the world explorer. He was going out to find, just really going out to be a criminal and steal. Whatever I come across, we taking it, okay? So we got on August the 3rd, 1492, following years of intense study, preparation, and petition. So he'd been studying for a while. Now, this date is very important. August 3rd, 1492. The Moors ruled in Spain from 711 to 1492. So you got to think, while he was under Moorish rulership, he had been plotting and planning to take Moorish people and melanated peoples out everywhere, which he's just succeeded. He had been plotting, living with us, studying us. He, traveling was, and he's like, yeah, now he studied for years to plan what he did. It wasn't something he planned overnight. So it has right here. It has, following years of intense studying and preparation and petitioning, Christopher Columbus secured funding from the Spanish crown to set out on a daring expedition that most believed to be impossible. So people thought he was going to die doing this, which should have happened. Okay. But it got commissioned. I mean, he eventually did though. But it got right here. Commissioned by Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, Columbus and his crew boarded 3 small ships, the Nina, the Pinti, and Santa Maria, to set sail on a perilous voyage across the Atlantic. He was guided by a noble mission to discover a new trade route to Asia. That's a very important thing. Bring glory to Spain and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to distant lands. Oh, this is something that Trump recently just passed. I'm about to get into this. He did it last year in October. Renewing vows to this man, okay? And why is his name Christopher, right? Christ, Christopher, Christ. And who was he? The gospel of Jesus Christ to distant lands. Okay, right here. Just over 2 months later, on October the 12th, 1492, Columbus made a landfall in the modern-day Bahamas. Okay? Upon his arrival, he planted a majestic cross, in a mighty act of devotion, dedicating the land to God and setting in motions America proud birthright of faith. Let's go. So he was already setting the tone. He was going around like, now this is Christ's territory. Now this is our territory now. Putting crosses in different areas. Okay, even and of course, and it's setting it in America too. Yeah, though he initially believed he had arrived in Asia, so he was lost the whole time too. That's another reason why I thought he was gonna die. He kept getting lost. He didn't know the map. He didn't understand. He was just took sail at sea and so that's another thing. This man, this man, it must have been horrible for him being under Moorish rule when he was in when it was under Moorish rule in Spain. He must have been just he got something happened to him. Like he was upset that all them black men, melanated men, was ruling in Spain. So he, like he said, though he initially believed he had arrived in Asia, he discovered openly that vast frontier and untold splendors of the New World to Europe. He later ventured onward to Cuba and other islands in the Caribbean. Okay, which we know is Haiti and Dominican Republic. Okay, exploring their coast and engaging with their people. So when he first came there, he tried to act like he was all friendly. Okay, he was being nice to them, studying them, breaking bread when we fed this man and everything. You know what I'm saying? And we was helping him because he was lost. So we showed him, we drew out maps for him. We didn't know. We didn't know what his plan was. So in our face, what they say, the OJ, smile in your face. Meanwhile, they want to take your place. Backstabbers. Them backstabbers. We've been putting this stuff in our music forever. They smiled in our face and they wanted to take our place. And Trump is giving honor to this man again, officially giving honor to him since he's been in office. So, this is last year. This Columbus Day, more than 500 years since Columbus arrived in the New World, we follow his example. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? We follow his example. We echo in his resolve and we offer our gratitude for his life of valor and grit. Above all, we commit to restoring a nation that once again dares to tame the unknown, honors our rich culture, inheritances, and offers rightful praise to our Creator above. So their culture and their heritage is identity theft, land theft, stealing other people's cultures, indoctrinating them with their false religions, and enslaving them in genocide and massacre. That's what they're saying here. This is their culture, y'all. Yes, this is their culture. It has in commemoration of Christopher Columbus' historic voyage, the Congress, by joint resolution of April 30 of 1934 and modified in 1968, 36 USC 107, as amended, has requested the presidents proclaim the second Monday of October of each year as Columbus Day. So it's like they renewed the vows of the day. It's just like if you get married, sometimes people like to renew their vows, right? They renewed this while Trump has been in office. It has right here. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim October 13th, 2025 as Columbus Day. I call upon the people of the United States to observe this day with appropriate ceremonies and activities. I also direct that the flag of the United States be displayed on all public buildings on the appointed day in honor of the great Christopher Columbus and all who have contributed to building our nation. Okay? Now, we know that the melanated people build this nation. So that's another thing. He's even being a mockery about, yeah, we even thank the slaves. They help us get this done because guess what? Without their enslavement, this wouldn't be no nation either. That's a mockery. So y'all out here, whatever your ethnicity is, especially melanated people, but nobody should be celebrating this day. Enslaving people, forcing them to build a country on their own land that they couldn't even benefit from, and they got enslaved on, and they was told not to even enjoy what they built, is not something to be celebrating. It's savagery. So it got right here, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand the 9th day of October in the year of our Lord. Let's ring the bell on that. In the year of our Lord, he is their Lord. Christopher, he is really the Jesus Christ, their Savior. And they taught us something different. They taught us it was something different. They taught it to us like Jesus was somebody else. Now, Christopher Columbus is Jesus to them. Their Lord and Savior. that went around and started putting crosses and Bibles everywhere, teaching people that this is the way we're going to go now, which was really indoctrinating them and brainwashing them and conquering them. Like, look, now that we here, y'all better start praising this guy right here, because this guy told us to come do this. Their God told them to do this stuff to indigenous peoples everywhere. Okay? So it has right here, 2025, and of the independence of the United States of America to 250th. So they're celebrating their 250th year anniversary since Christopher Columbus discovered. And remember, this happened. They only see, this is why I tell y'all they was lying about saying we've been enslaved for 400 years. We wasn't enslaved for 400 years. We were fighting them for most of those years. Okay, 250 years is how long their cooperation has been approved of. And the Moorish Empire in Africa gave them that. The Moroccan in 1915. They didn't even get recognized as a corporation, a recognized corporation, until Moorish rulership gave them recognition, recognized them. So we wasn't enslaved. We were fighting them all those years. We never surrendered to anything. We never surrendered to anything. So look, I said, in order to really get to the root of this story, we had to start off there, okay? We had to start off there. So next, and y'all, this is a lot of information. I'm not rushing through this information. So if you have to leave and come back, I get it. All right. And watch it another time. But it got Christopher Columbus initiated a period of violence, enslavement, and brutal exploitation against indigenous peoples' population upon his approval in America 1492. So he got approved to do this when he left Spain and Italy with Spain, the Spanish crown. So we got, rather than a formal declared war, his actions on Hispaniola and other islands involved forced labor, torture, and mass killings, initiating a catastrophic population decline. So yes, after he left America, he was going to Cuba, Dominican Republic, what they call Hispaniola, which is Haiti now, and torturing all the peoples everywhere. So we got enslavement and violence. Immediately upon arrival, Columbus seized indigenous peoples and later implemented systems of forced labor. This called the Encomienda system, to mine for gold and work on plantations, which I told y'all about that in that book, The Trail of Tears. It got brutal punishments. Columbus authorized severe violent punishments, including dismemberments and killings against the tiny people who failed to meet tribute demands. It got the combination of slavery, violence, and significantly the introduction of diseases, which is the smallpox and all this stuff they started doing to us, led to a 95% population loss of indigenous groups in some areas within 130 years. So yes, they started spreading diseases. So that's why we got, C-19, now this Nipah virus is going around. And then guess what? They had the smallpox back then. So they have always used biological warfare on us, spreading diseases to kill us off, because it's easier. Just like we used to poison them. We used to poison them with plants and herbs. They copied us, and now they started spreading diseases. Okay? So we got conflict context. While not at war in the traditional sense, he commanded armed violent campaigns in response to indigenous resistance. So of course, when we started fighting back, which we did immediately, he started making armies and wars against our resistance. Like, y'all gonna be enslaved, y'all gonna do this. So again, while some debate exists regarding whether this was a calculated genocide, historians generally agree that his actions directly caused massive, systematic bloodshed and suffering. And this is who Trump just decided to make official holiday and renew the vows of his day and celebrate last year in October. And if you think that was not a straight act of war, you're lying to yourself. He letting y'all know that this ain't never been over. And praise our Lord Christopher. Praise our Lord Christopher, okay? It's so crazy, y'all. Mr. Christopher Columbus. And I got this right here. Hold on. Columbus didn't discover shit, because he didn't. We were already here. And go back down some more to this other. This is our map prior to colonization. These are all indigenous peoples across these areas. Even before election, like, well, Louisiana wasn't the name of the territory. Those are names they gave. Remember, these names are French. Louisiana, that's a French term. So they started, once they started owning and buying our land after they came and invaded us here, they started renaming areas to claim as their own. And Napoleon owned what we know is the Louisiana territory. Okay, but this was it. Shawnees, Chickasaws, Choctaws, Yamasees, Seminoles. These were the names. Cherokees. This was the land. He didn't discover anything. He invaded these lands. Okay, he invaded these lands. Okay, and I don't care how many times we have to talk about this. We're gonna keep talking about this. Okay, so after he did all that, now we done got to what his purpose was originally. Here we go. Yes, Christopher Columbus landed on the island of Hispaniola, which includes modern-day Haiti, during his voyage in December 1492. So he left America quick. He went over there, stayed there for, you got to think, it's time was, different back then. But he went over there. Then he took sail to Cuba. Then he took sail to what they call Haiti. It's called Hispaniola, which includes modern-day Haiti, during the voyage in December. So he was in America and came to Haiti right after that. He named it La Isla Española, and on December 6, 1492, he anchored off the coast of what is now Haiti, establishing the first European settlement. It got La Navadi on the northern coast. So that's something. He just got there. As soon as he saw it on the map, so they made, okay, as he's exploring, right, going to these different areas, he started naming this stuff for his own memory. Of course, he had what they told him it was called, but then he like, nah, it's called this. They didn't know he was doing this, though, because a lot of them didn't speak English. See what I'm saying? They had to teach him their language to understand him. And that's what I'm saying. They had to teach each other. But they didn't understand each other's languages. They didn't understand how to read and write what he had. So they didn't understand how to read his maps. So that's why they try to say we were stupid. We wasn't stupid. We didn't speak their language. They try to say that just to be insulting. No, we didn't speak their language. We had our own languages. But somewhere along the line, we learned how to speak theirs and they learned how to speak ours. Because we taught each other. So we could understand each other. But you got to think about how much we got taken advantage of during that time that we wasn't knowing how to talk to them. All we was doing was like, hey, come get something to eat. Hey, let me show you what we got over here. Because we were loving people. We weren't starving. We weren't poor. Our lands were beautiful and plentiful, and our people were beautiful and plentiful. We didn't have nothing to fight about. And they was jealous of that. So here they come. So we got right here. After leaving Cuba, Columbus arrived in the northern coast of the island, modern-day Haiti, Dominican Republic, in early December 1492, admiring its beauty and resources. Here they go. After his flagship, the Santa Maria, ran aground near present-day Lamando, Haiti on Christmas Eve, 1492. Listen to that. Columbus used its timber to build a fort called La Navidad. So that's another thing. His ship wrecked and crashed, and it was terrible. So he got stuck on the island of Haiti for a minute, and then they had to help him with that. See what I'm saying? So we didn't know we was helping this monster. We didn't know we was helping this monster. That's not on us. He was a spy. He was an invader. He was a savage. That's what they do. And now we know. So we got conflict with Tiny. He left 39 men at this fort to search for gold. However, the men's brutal treatment of the local Tiny people led to their destruction by the time Columbus returned on his second voyage. So he knew what he was doing. He left and was like, get these N-words in order when I get back so we can own this island, so we can get the rest of these resources. So he left them to strip the land of the gold that it had, because yes, Haiti was full of gold, just like America was full of gold. Africa was not the only continent that was full of gold. And then came back once he let this virus onto this island. So we got Columbus' arrival on Haiti began the colonization of the island and often brutal exploitation of its indigenous population. Yes, it did. So this is what he'd been going around the world and started doing on his big explorer. And that is what Trump is getting gratitude for. Trump just said under the U.S. corporation's name that we give thanks to our Lord Christopher Columbus for all that. So that means he's happy about the enslavement of indigenous peoples. It didn't matter that people died and got taken advantage of and lied to and manipulated and murdered and removed illegally, including identity stolen by other people. People trying to say they're indigenous to these lands and they're not. So they started getting reparations. To this day they do, with false identities. He's thankful for all that. This is the people that y'all voted. This is the person that y'all voted for. Okay? So, let's get into the war that broke off in Haiti. Okay? Let's get into that. So, and, okay, here it is right here. Hold on. Yeah, this stuff is so, you can't, it's not unbelievable. It's believable. Here it is right here. Following its 1804 independence, Haiti actively fought to end slavery elsewhere by operating as a safe haven for escaped slaves, seizing slave ships to free captives, and providing crucial aid to anti-slavery revolutionaries like Simon Bolivar in South America. And we know there's South American indigenous people. Haiti's existence as a free black republic challenged colonial powers. So we got right here. Under leaders like Henry Christophe, Haiti intercepted slave ships and major operations in 1817 freed 145 Africans from a Portuguese vessel. They didn't like that. After Haiti got free, because they won the Haitian Revolutionary War against Napoleon, jerked out tail, they started freeing other slaves. They took on sea and said, we getting all our brothers and sisters out of here. Which made sense. It got Haitian's President Alexander Petition provided Simon Bolivar with weapons, money, and ships in 1815 and 1816. This support was conditional. Bolivar had to free all the slaves in the territories he liberated in South America. Haiti became a symbol of freedom, often providing a refuge for enslaved people seeking freedom from nearby colonies. And the Haitian of the Haitian Revolution, 1791, 1804, terrified slaveholding nations, including the U.S., by proving that a slave revolt could succeed, thus putting pressure on the institution of slavery globally. This threatened them big time. That, oh my God, they're fighting back and they're helping other people get free. Oh, this is bad. We're going to lose everything we got them to build for us, for our comfort. That's their fear. We can't lose all this. This is all we get. So that's another thing. Melanated people are money assets for them. They didn't want to build this. So they used us. We were money. That's why they used to trade us on the black market as stock. We were money. We were indigenous. We knew the land in ways they didn't know, so we knew where everything was. We could find the money. We knew the land. We knew the plants. We knew the food systems. We are the money. And that's why everybody liked to get close to us. Because they didn't know anything. Not without us. So we got, despite facing immense international isolation and economic penalties, Haitian maintained its commitment to abolition, making it a pioneer in the global fight against slavery. So yes, France abolished slavery in 1793. Let me show y'all this. France abolished slavery in 1793, yet the struggle continued until Haiti won independence on January 1804, becoming the world's first free black republic. So yeah, they didn't like that. So a couple of people that helped win the Haitian Revolutionary War were as follows. We had Duddy Bookman. He was a Jamaican man that was a Muslim. Somebody said, baby, you fine but crazy as hell. Why? Because I'm speaking the truth that nobody want to see. That's what every time we speak the truth, it's called crazy. But yeah, Duddy Bookman was a Haitian revolutionary hero who died in November 1791 because he got killed. He got deported and removed from Jamaica and shipped off to the island known as Haiti now, because he was They used to always make the troublemakers. They would send them to Haiti, because that's where they broke slaves at, in Haiti. They broke people. The French was very well known for breaking the most strongest warriors there. But what they really didn't realize, what they did is they actually dug their own graves, because now you put a whole bunch of strong people from different ethnicities on one island. Okay, separate them from their families, right? So he was well known to be a Muslim man in Jamaica, and he carried a Quran book with him, and he started teaching slaves how to read, and he got killed for that. He was teaching them how to read, because remember, we weren't allowed to know how to read. Here it is right here. Here it is. I'm gonna show y'all this too. All this stuff is already posted. I've been posting stuff every day now. But it got self-educated slave born on the island of Jamaica, sold to a French plantation in Haiti after he attempted to teach other slaves to read. So because he was teaching slaves how to read, they did this to him. They ended up killing him, okay? And then we have our voodoo priest, Cecil Fatima. She was very well known to help do, I'm going to read this though. That Cecil was a voodoo high priest who maintained the rituals and relationship between spirits and the community. At night, she traveled to plantation after plantation, convincing both the people who were enslaved and the Maroons to attend a boys' common in the forest, which she did in an alligator swamp, okay? Because she knew the colonizers, the French and them, they weren't coming in no alligator swamp, all right? They were scared. So this ceremony acted as both a religious ritual and a meeting to plan the uprising that became the Haitian Revolution. Not only was Cecil indispensable in the creation of Haiti, she went on to become the first lady after marrying President Louis Michel Perrault, a former soldier of the Haitian Revolution. She lived to be 112 years old. She lived a mighty long life after that. Good for her. That's who we need to be paying homage to. So these are the ancestors that we need to be paying homage to, and we can do that. You don't. That's what I tell people, which is why I'm about to get into why practicing Louisiana voodoo is necessary, and practicing Southern hoodoo and even Louisiana hoodoo as well, because they have a relationship, big time. And if you're not hearing right now why they don't want us to do those practices, you're in denial, because it worked. When we call on our ancestors, the world shake, baby. Okay, and they called that demonic. So let's get this straight. I want y'all to hear this. Christopher Columbus exploring these areas, using Jesus Christ and crosses and planting them everywhere, and indoctrinating and brainwashing us and enslaving us on our own land. That's holy to them, and that's righteous. But us calling on our ancestors in defense, because we never went to their lands and came over and took over their lands unjustly and stole anything from them, we're the demons. So they view resistance as demonic. All right. Okay. This stuff is wild, y'all. So another one is who we call Mackandal. Mackandal. Okay. So it got Maroon commander who killed 6,000 French enslavers in the first revolution in Haiti, Mackandal. Now, this man, so there's a lot of talk that black people sold each other out in slavery, and it's a bigger story than that. So everybody that's spreading those lies, including melanated people, need to stop. It got the well-known voodoo priest Francois Mackandal reportedly poisoned black collaborators, also known as house slaves, before he targeted the French enslavers. Due to the resistance of the black collaborators and the high risk of his revolutionary plan being exposed. So yes, we had to kill our own brothers and sisters because they were comfortable being house slaves while we was out there being beat, slaughtered, and murdered every day, because they didn't get treated that way necessarily because they was in the house. So they was the ones, just like Nat Turner did the same thing. Nat Turner killed house slaves because they was going to snitch on us for trying to get free. They were getting treated better than us, and they thought they was better than us, even though they was enslaved, just because they got to sleep in the house and didn't have to work in the fields and go through what we was going through outside. They forgot about us. That ain't black on black crime. They ain't on our side no more. So it's bigger than that. And then the story is even bigger than that. Once we got enslaved by a lot of them, which we're going to get into later, We got separated from each other. And when they can separate us and divide us, and you're only getting fed by this slave master, just like Django showed us, that movie with Jamie Foxx played in, that's the coon energy that started happening to us. Because that's survival, y'all. People did everybody wasn't strong in a rebellion like some of our brothers and sisters. They surrendered because they just wanted to live. And they would do whatever means necessary to live, including betraying their own people. Ain't no difference. Yes, they did. They betrayed us. Because they were scared of death. And that's why voodoo is important, because in voodoo, you are taught not to be scared of death. Because as soon as you're scared of death, you are dead. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, baby. Let's ring the bell on that. As soon as you're scared of death, you will die. See, the reason why it's pointless to actually be scared of death is because everybody has a death date. Everybody has left this planet. Their death is coming. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be in another 5 years, but it's going to arrive. And that's the main thing that's promised to you. Life is not even always promised to you. Life is a gift. But death is promised. And when they stop fearing death because they work with their ancestors, thank you so much. Thank you so much. She said, preach, baby. And when they started working with their ancestors, all they thinking about, baby, I see y'all on the other side. But until we going to save the lives that we can, and I see you on the other freaking side, baby. They scared of that energy, baby. They don't like that. They scared because then we live longer because we actually fighting for our lives with the dead. And what's so bad about being with our people? Whether we going to be in the physical world or in the spiritual world, we together. And we have less harm come to us that way. So that is why they don't want you practicing hoodoo or voodoo. Because they know those ancestors, very DNA runs through our veins and will awaken in us. They keeping their ancestor awoke, celebrating Christopher Columbus in our face. In our freaking face. And then got you in their churches really worshiping their devil. You worship Christ as Christopher. The name. It's their Bible. They pushed on us while we were enslaved. They just said it's in the Constitution. Y'all, I'm happy I had to get some rest. I've been planning this live for the last couple of days, and I said I got to make sure I'm able to translate this information calmly, because it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. And I'm just telling y'all, it's still happening now. So look, let's read some more of this stuff. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff, y'all. This is a lot of stuff. Okay. Now, this is why Haiti is so poor, okay? It got in 1825, France forced Haiti to pay an indemnity of 150 million francs, later reduced, for lost property, including enslaved people, following Haitian independence. So, doesn't that sound like they made them pay reparations? What? Because remember, they made slavery legal back then. So technically, even though we know we didn't, they broke the law with that rebellion. You broke our laws. Now you got to pay us. And that's the same thing they do to us now. They created laws against us. Their laws are not just, they're corrupt. What kind of law is that? Because you didn't let us enslave us, y'all, and then we lost all our slaves, and then y'all messed up our plan. Now you got to pay us. They some bees. Coward A-bees, okay? So we got right here. 150 million francs later reduced for lost property, including enslaved people following Haitian independence. France compelled compliance by sending a fleet of warships to threaten a naval blockade and re-invasion. It got effectively demanding payment for diplomatic recognition. So yes, now sending a fleet of warships to threaten a naval blockade and reinvasion. So they threatened them. Now, let me tell y'all, they did abduct some of their slaves on the plantation. And most of those slaves, thank you so much. And most of those slaves that they stole when they got ran off of out of Haiti was some of them house N-words. A lot of them went willingly, like, Master, take me with you, don't leave me here with them. Because they were scared to get killed by us because we poisoned some of them to death. Mackendall helped us because they wouldn't help us. So we didn't sell them out. They left because we was going to kill they if they didn't help us. And we couldn't trust them. They knew that. They had already betrayed us. So they went willingly. And you know what happened to them? Karma be. They went willingly with these Frenchmen after they got ran off and fled to Louisiana. And Louisiana got purchased by the United States during all this time, and we was enslaved in the South, the American indigenous peoples. So they sent ships of their heads. They sent them ships of dead bodies and limbs, like, we coming back if y'all don't pay us. Putting fear on them. That's their fault. We were still sad about it though, because it still messed up. We still sympathize with our enslaved brothers and sisters that betrayed us, the house slaves, because they just weren't strong enough for this. Some of the house slaves helped us poison the masters too, but they would get killed first because they had actual access to the food, like preparing the meals. So the house slave was always going to be targeted first because you are preparing the meals. But a lot of them did help. All of them weren't traitors. When they found out about the plan, they like, heck yeah, I'll poison master. What's up? When we doing this? They was like, when we doing this? Yeah. They was like, F that. So all of them weren't traitors, but some of them were. And we had to get rid of them. Oh yeah. It's a rat. You think we was happy about that? That crushed our soul. We like, bruh, you remember my mama just got killed the other day. My mama just got killed the other day. And you telling me because you comfortable under these men and women that you don't want to help us get free? Do you know what that did to them? Man. Just imagine experiencing this, because remember, a lot of us weren't born when this stuff was happening, but we are the descendants of these people. Okay, so it got effectively demanding payment for diplomatic recognition. They wanted money. They like, since you won't let us enslave you, since we won't let us kill y'all and steal from y'all and divide y'all, and y'all won't worship our God, pay us because we lost all our slaves. Because remember, I read to y'all how Haiti started going everywhere. They got on ships. And it's like, we freeing our people. Okay? So again, right here. In July 1825, French King Charles X sent a fleet of 14 warships with over 500 cannons to Port-au-Prince, presenting an ordinance that made payment a condition for recognizing Haitian independence. Haiti was forced to sign a treaty accepting a $150 franc debt to compensate French planters for lost plantations and slaves. It had to make the initial payment. Haiti was forced to take out high interest loans from French banks, creating a crushing cycle of debt, with the final installment not paid until 1947. Wow. So listen to that. Don't they sound like what they do to us now? Mortgages, outstanding debts from their banks. So they don't actually have the money. It's fake money that they approve to us to give you a mortgage. They get you in for 30, or now they're doing 50-year mortgages now. Ridiculous. School loans. The money is not actually necessarily there. They just made a statement that we're going to let you pretend to borrow this money until you pay it back. It's a scam. Thank you so much for sharing the video. It's a scam. That's another slave system they created. Banks. Banks have always been their slave system. Debt. Credit. Okay. So interest loans to French. So the very people that they just beat, they A's, gave them a loan to pay this off. So they've been in debt paying reparations to French people. And that's why, if you ever been, I've never been to France, but people that have been there, ain't it nice there? I've seen pictures. It's all nice there, right? Because they get reparations from the Haitians to build their nice, glorious area. So anybody that's visiting those areas, thank the Haitians. Thank all those people that were not all from that island as well, the descendants of Jamaicans and Africans that got shipped there and fought in that Haitian war and had to pay for what happened to them for taking up for themselves. So it got, y'all, this is some stuff. This is some stuff. It has the Or independence debt crippled Haiti economically for over a century, draining funds that could have been used for infrastructure, education, and healthcare. So they have never been able to come up after that war. They had damages too from the war. They had plenty of damages, but they never got to take care of themselves. They've been in, so that's why work systems, jobs, those are tools of enslavement. Now you gotta work for us and pay us reparations. It's still enslavement. It's still enslavement, y'all. So here it has Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere due to a confluence of historical debt, chronic political instability, corruption, and severe environmental degradation. A massive independence debt owed to France. Recurring natural disasters, foreign interventions, and gang violence have destroyed infrastructures and paralyzed economic development. Okay. Don't that sound like the same? So look, the same thing that is happening to the American Indians here in America, in the U.S., that's been happening. Gangs. We started the Gangster Disciples for growth and development and unity. But guess what? That got exploited and we started gang banging on each other. The Bloods and the Crips were not originally a gang towards each other. We was all together protecting the communities. The Black Panther Party, the guerrilla gang. Then once we can't win and we just dying in numbers, we take it out on each other because who else is there to take it out on? That's how you divide and conquer a people. So we started killing each other. The fight was so bad. Once they got us trapped here with them, working for them, shot up by them. Y'all need to go back and look at Huey P. Newton. Bobby Seale still living, thankfully. Live in power, brother. But that's what I'm saying. He's still alive. But it's a lot of our ancestors that were still alive back then. From back then. Man. So here we go right here. Following independence in 1804, Haiti was forced to pay a massive in debt to France, which crippled its economy for over a century. Persistent weak governance, dictatorships such as the devourers, and high levels of corruption have undermined the development of institutions and infrastructure. So yes, they've had corrupt leaders since then. See what I'm saying? Dictatorships. And if you do not know, Wycliffe attempted to be the president of Haiti, and I promise you, if he would have became the president of Haiti, they would have did very well. But guess what? They tried to assassinate Wycliffe because he wasn't a politician and he didn't go through the proper steps to be taken on that role. And they tried to assassinate him when he tried to run for president. He's a Haitian that's here in America that has been able to become rich and successful while he see his brothers and sisters over there still struggling because he know what's going on with them and he wanted to help his people, and they tried to kill him. So and that's another thing. They purposely, after Haiti got their independence, told everybody in the surrounding areas were not supporting them. So they were not able to trade with anybody to even earn money to pay off the debt so they could stay up. They completely kept them down. Nobody was allowed to trade with them. The American Indians we already had been going through war and fighting with them too, so we could barely help ourselves. And then they was getting deported to America as well. And we about to get into all that. The fights have been going on. And they was told the US don't trade with them. Everybody was told not to trade with them, so they couldn't get nothing. Nothing. The only person that tried to help them, so-called, was French, giving them a loan that they got to pay back with interest that they still been paying back, which is why they haven't got anywhere. And they were paying to stop them from coming back over there trying to kill them again. That's what the payment is. The only way for you to stop us from coming back is pay us. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. So look, frequent hurricanes and earthquakes combined with intense deforestations have left the country vulnerable, with over 1.3 million people displaced as of 2025. That's recent. Which is why we have a lot of immigrants here in America from Haiti. And Trump was trying to get them out of there recently, but he got blocked. And I'm glad, because we're not getting rid of the Haitians. No, the hell we not. You're going to have to back off that one, buddy. That's another thing. They technically got indigenous rights here too. Because they got brought over here during a time of enslavement with us. They cannot get rid of the Haitians. No, you can't. What? What? No, we're not doing that. Woo. So it has gang violence. Spreading armed gang violence has worsened the already fragile security and economic situation. Decades of aid have created a toxic charity cycle, undermining local businesses and discouraging the development of self-sufficient services. So guess what? What did they do? Same thing that happened to us in America in the hood. We have nobody else to get help from. Nobody would help us. Nobody would build with us. So guess what? They enslaved their own people on their own lands to get on top. That's where drug dealers come from, gang lords. Because guess what? That's why the crack epidemic happened here in America. You are willing to enslave people off the little money they got so you can get on top to get to a place so you can do something for them after you've ruined them and did harmful things to them. That's the system that they created. I'm not justifying what happened to us. And I'm not justifying gang violence at all. I grew up in this environment. I'm from the hood. I got gang members in my family from different, I've had them all, and drug dealers in my family. So I grew up in knowing this is not right, but it was the only way we had in our minds because of the situation. That's a part of their destruction. We ain't helping them. They can help themselves. And how can we help ourselves when none of us, everything that we did have got stripped from us in slavery through them? And they took it all. And slaughtered majority of us and removed majority of us as well. Our numbers were down. I'm like, so they be trying to act brand new. It got these interconnected long-term issues have created a cycle of poverty and instability has hindered development to this day. To this day. To this day, this is still economically causing all of us harm because we have never received reparations like everybody else. Everybody is thriving because they got reparations from us. What? And everybody just think, oh, we're so proud of this. All right. So we got right here. After gaining independence in 1804, Haiti established its own monetary systems, but faced immense financial pressure from a double debt forced by France. This indemnity, along with high interest loans from French banks, crippled the economy, forcing Haiti to spend significant revenues on debt payments rather than development. It got following the revolution, Haiti was an independent nation but struggled with financial sovereignty. France forced Haiti to pay I can't even say this word. I don't know what's going on. Indemnity for lost property, slaves, and land, forcing the country to take massive loans. That's how they always get us, taking out all these goddamn loans. This is the same stuff They always take, this is slavery. Taking out loans is slavery. That's why I got them. I hate to even admit it, but I got a mortgage and that's it. And school loans, F that. They, man, whatever. Whatever. They got French banks such as Credit Industrials at Commercial took high fees and controlled the National Bank of Haiti, which profits sometimes exceeded Haiti's republic work budgets. So they was taking more than they was even getting paid and able to actually economically produce. They knew these people was never going to be able to really get above that unless they had a miracle. They got long-term impact. This, coupled with political corruption and instability, created a cycle of poverty, making it difficult for the country to sustain its own economic growth. Duh. That was the point. They like, since we can't take over y'all, we gonna keep y'all down. Y'all still ain't about to get nowhere in life out here. They got the nation's economy has historically struggled with a massive trade defect, and as of 2024 remains heavily reliant on imports. This is all recent stuff, y'all. So, as what did Trump say? He's trying to make America great again. That's why he was trying to get these Haitians out of here. He was trying it. He was trying it. He tried it. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, let's get into the revolt that happened in Louisiana. Now, hold on. We got to get into this right here. French enslavers, particularly refugees from the Haitian Revolution, fled to Louisiana both before and after the 1803 U.S. purchase. Before and after the U.S. purchase. Remember, the war started in 1791. And then it continued on until they won into 1803. And they got their independence in 1804. So all this time, that's a long stretch of years for them to be kidnapping and abducting people from Africa, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and the island, Hispaniola, in Haiti, and deporting them to Louisiana Territory. The transatlantic slave trade. That was a long stretch of time. That's a lot of people they could do that too. You know what I'm saying? As well as mixing them in with the American indigenous people. Okay? So it has right here. While the purchase ended French colonial rule, these refugees, along with their enslaved people, intensified the plantation systems and increased the slave population in the newly acquired territory. So yes, remember, that area was already enslaved. The indigenous people had already got enslaved and a lot, like I said, removed and enslaved, and they was being tortured and all that. So they just brought more people into the area. That whole area, let me go back. This whole area used to be indigenous. It is indigenous. So they started bringing people from the islands and stuff over here. Mix them in with us. Mixing them in with us, y'all. So it has right here. Hold on. Girl, I lost where I was at. There we go. Here we go. We got many French planters fled Saint Dominic, which is Haiti now, during the revolution starting in 1791. I just said that. And moved to New Orleans, bringing enslaved people with them. Despite the 1803 purchase by the U.S., a strong French culture, linguistic, and ownership presence remain in Louisiana. Okay? It got slave population impact. The arrival of these refugees contributed significantly to the population of enslaved Africans in the region, which was already around 30,000, half of the total non-native population at the time of the purchase. Okay, so it was so many people over there, like 30,000 people in the Louisiana territory alone, which is a lot of people. And you got to think, 30,000 immigrants being brought over to Louisiana that were non-native to the area, combined with us already there. They started, that's why voodoo is indigenous, African, and Catholic, Caribbean, and European origins because of the mixture of all of us in that one area. And we was breeding with each other. That's where I know the term is offensive to some, but the mulattoes and the mixed blood that happened because of slavery and us being forced together in that way. So our numbers got large because when we breed, y'all, we breed. And they had breeding camps. We were getting sex trafficked. So we always was making babies. So the numbers, that 30,000 got larger and larger over time. So although the U.S. took control, Congress later moved to restrict the international importation of enslaved people in the territory. Okay. So eventually the U.S. made it illegal for them to continue importing slaves in the U.S. territory, but it didn't have a year. So how long did it take them before they stopped doing that? How long did it take them before the U.S. finally stopped letting them? Because they let them flee over there. So you got the same people we just beat in that war, and Haiti got their independence. They still took some of them coon slaves with them, and some that were kidnapped as well, to keep them enslaved through the Louisiana territory that the U.S. bought, and the U.S. was still had slavery as illegal in the South. So guess what? They got their little slaves. They got their slaves and they came. So all them French and Caucasian people that's there now are descendants of the French. That people that's from Louisiana, when they tell you they're from Louisiana and they may not be melanated and stuff or indigenous and stuff, those are the descendants of the French colonizers. Yeah. And the British and all that. And all the Christopher Columbus. It's the same people. And they stayed over there all this time for generations and starting families born there for birthright citizenship stuff. That's what that is. And this is the thing I wanted to show y'all a while back. That symbol, this is the symbol that I told y'all they used to engrave onto us for runaways and troublemakers that fought back. Okay? Because we about to talk about the Louisiana Revolt. So people from Louisiana, because it was the same people. It was the Haitians. And now they had that Haitian blood. So they had some Haitian indigenous people and some American indigenous people together. What's up? We mixed that Haitian blood with this indigenous American blood and tapped in and created voodoo. Okay? Louisiana voodoo. So before this symbol became the logo of the New Orleans Saints, the fleur-de-lis symbol was used to brand enslaved people in French colonies, including Louisiana, as punishment under the Code Noir. Enslaved individuals who attempted to escape or committed theft could be branded with the symbol, which marked them as a troublemaker and property. So the Code Noir was I posted that as well. It's a very terrible code that pretty much it's similar to the Christian black codes. Very similar. You pretty much didn't have no rights because you were a slave. Okay? So you bet not run away. And people had rights to kill you if you did. All right? So let's go into the Louisiana Revolt. They wouldn't stop. We ain't never just lied down, y'all. We wouldn't stop fighting. We ain't just lay down. So the 1811 Louisiana Slave Revolt or German Coast Uprising was the largest insurrection of enslaved peoples in the U.S. history, starting January 8th, 1811 near La Place, led by Charles Deslandes. 200 to 500 enslaved people marched towards New Orleans to gain freedom. The rebellion was suppressed within 48 hours by local militias and federal troops. So what did you hear that? The rebellion was suppressed within 48 hours by local militias and federal troops. They got their militias. Those white militias. Because remember, we stayed together and slavery was, once the U.S. bought the Louisiana territory, which includes Oklahoma, y'all. If you do not know, the Oklahoma bombings, the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings happened in Louisiana territory. That whole area was considered Louisiana. So before it was considered just Oklahoma, that was the territory of Louisiana. So the same people got bombed for being free again. Every time we would gain freedom of some kind, They bombed us. We had our they could not let us see black freedom in them areas because areas were still under slave laws. So their local militias and federal troops came to take all them down. Like, hell no, y'all ain't rising up around here. So we got right here. The revolt spanned the German coast, St. John the Baptist and St. Charles parishes to New Orleans. Inspired by the Haitian Revolution, participants included enslaved peoples from various ethnic backgrounds, both house servants and field hands. So finally, they started waking up. Oh, now y'all want to help us. You get it? And that's what I said. All house slaves were not traders. No, they wasn't. All house slaves were not traders. So that's what I said. Both house slave and field hands were helping with this at the 1811 slave revolt, and they were of mixed ethnicities, various mixed ethnicities. Again, rebels were armed with cane knives and tools, burning plantations and killing 2 white men. Approximately 20 to 95 rebels were killed and fighting or executed via tribunals, with many decapitated and their heads displayed on spikes along the Mississippi River as a warning. Free. And they did the same thing in Haiti. They beheaded Bookman and they beheaded Mackendall for helping poison the slaves, the slave owners, and of course Bookman for trying to teach them how to read. So that's what they always did. They take our head and place it in front of us like, keep this up, your head gonna be next. We're gonna take your head next. Woo! So look, the brutal suppression and subsequent tribunals led to tighter control over the enslaved population. So they had to get tight, which is why they created the Code Noir. They was like, we got to get these N-words under control. Got to get these N-words under control. They fighting. Look, let me show y'all this map again. They was like, we got to get these N-words under control. They keep fighting us. They won't stop. This stuff is crazy, y'all. All right. This stuff is some crazy. That's why I said I didn't know how long I was going to be on here. I'm wrapping it up now. So this is Napoleon, B.A. Look at him. Okay, y'all remember, Napoleon sold Louisiana to fund his wars, then lost 50,000 troops trying to crush Haiti's slave rebellion. The defeated French general army became the first to lose to formerly enslaved fighters. Haitian won independence in 1804. So yeah, that's the only reason why he sold Louisiana territory to the U.S., which was still under enslavement with the American Indians. Okay? The South, which is the South. That we were still under slavery then. So they just like, oh yeah, join the party. We'll take more slaves. Look at the U.S. I always hear to say the day, we'll take more slaves. We got you. Well, you go over there and fight them, and we'll take that over. And then when you get done, y'all got refugees over here too. They just helped each other. Because guess what? Didn't I just tell y'all they fled there, them French soldiers after the war? So they went back and fought and lost and came back. They were still here. Man. So remember, they made Haiti pay reparations. They passed the law for them to pay reparations in 1825. Remember that? 1825. The France was like, y'all got to pay us reparations for losing our slaves. Okay? And you got and then 1811. So that's another thing. 1811. 1825, they finally was like, y'all got to pay us. And before 1825 hit, 1811, they had a revolt. So they were so sick of, they still could enslave us, even after U.S. bought Louisiana, and the French were still here keeping us enslaved here in Louisiana. Finally, they was like, yeah, just pay us. So now we got to find a way to take y'all all the way down. Okay? And that's why there were free people in Louisiana. And Marie Laveau was one of those women. Okay? Let's ring the bell. Of mixed ethnicities. Okay? Creoles and stuff. So, after that, here come Andrew Jackson, B.A. Man, look. This moron. Y'all, I used to live in the Andrew Jackson courts for 5 years in Nashville, Tennessee. And every time I used to wake up in them projects, the building is brown. Most projects around the world that have melanated people in them, they always brown, right? If you're brown, stay down. If you're black, get back. That was the saying. So it's not a coincidence that projects are brown. They for the N-words. That's why most of them have us in it. And they always name them after presidents that did the most horrible things for us, kept us in poverty. That's what they're used for. Yeah, stay your A down. We'll give you a little something, but stay your A down. So look, it got the Indian removal. Okay, 1830, Congress passed the Indian Removal Act. So that is 5 years after the French just ordered Haiti to pay reparations to France. And then they fled to Louisiana after the U.S. purchased the Louisiana Territory in 1803 in the middle of this war. You see how they keep working together? We need to take notes. That's what I'm talking about. We need to take notes. So the Indian Removal Act was passed by Congress on May 28th, 1830. The law authorized President Andrew Jackson to negotiate with Southern Indian tribes for their removal to federal territory west of the Mississippi River in exchange of their ancestral homelands. And didn't we just hear them say after the revolt that happened in Louisiana in 1811, they spread their heads off the Mississippi River? So what was it? What? You see how they kept doing it? They just kept pushing us to pretty much homelessness and poverty situations, because we just read what they just did to Louisiana after they did that revolt, and they took their heads and laid them throughout the Mississippi River. So what was that going to do? And we just told y'all the Louisiana Territory Oklahoma was a part of that. And what did they do? Bombed us there. So they just kept moving us to other territories that slavery was in those territories. Like Florida, if y'all seen the movie, I posted it, but they just took it down. But Rosewood, where there was a predominantly melanated area that white people started coming to live in with us. And that whole area got burned down on New Year's, January the 1st. Because a woman claimed that she got raped by a black man when she was really messing around with this white man that beat her, and she just blamed it on the black man, on some Emmett Till. And got that whole area burned down by militias. Okay? So Andrew Jackson did that. And that is the way, what they say, the cookie crumbles, y'all. So let's read this part right here. The American Indians, y'all. We are the American. I told y'all this is a symbol that we used to use. They stole this symbol from us. All right. You got right here. Harassed, lied to, deported, relocated, and massacred since 1492. Who's the terrorists? Not us. We're the defenders. They're the terrorists. That's in their history. And just remember, they just signed a recognition to Christopher Columbus last year, 2025, saying we got to start praising our Lord Christopher for everything he did for us. They refreshing. They did a whole ritual with that. That's a ritual. And they told everybody, we recommend y'all start worshiping him too. They're going to always remind us of that. Okay? Because they still about their life. And if you in denial, that's on you. It got Haiti's fight for freedom changed the world. I just posted this today. A lot of this stuff I've already posted. It has, though long ignored by many who studied the age of revolution, the Haitian Revolution stands out as the only instance in which enslaved people and free people of color fought and defeated the French, Spanish, and British to end slavery and the slave trade. The successful and complicated campaign for freedom and equality led by Toussaint Louverture began in 1791 and resulted in the creation of an independent republic in 1804. The impact of this revolution has resonated across movements in the two territories since its occurrence. Yes, it did. And then the Pan-African movement. Moses Marcus Garvey. It got right here. The Pan-Africanist movement. The events of the Haitian Revolution shaped the development of Pan-Africanism, the idea that people of African descent share common interests and should be unified. The early voices of Pan-Africanism included Martin Delany and Marcus Garvey, while the father of modern Pan-Africanism was the influential thinker W.E.B. Du Bois. The first black sovereign nation in the Americas and its revolutionary history was central to the ideology, to his ideologies and activism. Okay. So yes, y'all, and I know it's a lot of stuff going on right now with the FBAs and some Americans and Africans, and it always has. Can we remember what happened to us and stop letting us get divided and get off track on what the real problem is? We done got too comfortable, and they just showing us in our face why we shouldn't be comfortable. ICE woke everybody up. It's effed up what's going on with this ICE stuff. Heck yeah, it's messed up. Indigenous people we are the main people that don't condone genocide. After what you just heard today, we are the main people that do not condone genocide under any circumstances. But genocide has been done to us and massacres forever. And they still promote it and worship this stuff today under this corporation. So I feel like ICE is the only thing that woke everybody up to this monster. Look, federal judge, let me show y'all this. This is what I was talking about. I posted in my story. Federal judge blocks Trump's administration from ending temporary protection status for over 350,000 Haitian immigrants. He tried it. He tried to get our brothers and sisters out of here once again and send their aid to Haiti because he knows that dividing us is easier for us to be conquered. They seen how we are when we fight together and we work in spirit together and culture. Remember, there were Muslims, there were Catholics, there were all kind of different ethnicities that joined together to create hoodoo and voodoo. But definitely voodoo. They actually joined together in voodoo to win the Haitian Revolutionary War. All the different ethnicities together. They just work of art. Spiritual art is what I call it. That's why I tell people spirituality is an art. It was a creation for our defense and survival and revolution. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, hoodoo and voodoo is closed freaking practices, okay? That's why. That's why. That is the blood that runs through our veins. This story I just said today. That's why. Okay? It says right here. I have not posted this yet, but I'm going to just show y'all what it looked like. It got the Black History for this Black History Month. Y'all remember this. For this Black History Month, remember, human trafficking was legal. Slavery was legal. Jim Crow was legal. The U.S. government paying reparations to white enslavers and not to the enslaved was legal. Prison slavery is still legal. The lesson is do not let legality and power be a measure of morality and justice. Stop justifying that it was legal, saying it was right. Legal don't mean right. Guess what? They making pedophilia legal too. Every time they make something legal, y'all just jump on it because y'all think it's right. When have we ever been able to trust their legal systems? Based off what you heard here today, when has their way of thinking been logical? You just heard what they just renewed the vows of Christopher Columbus, their Lord. Y'all, we are the Boers, also mirrors. Okay, I have not posted this yet, but I will. So it has right here, the term Moro literally means more. It's commonly used when referring to the ancient Indians of the valley and villages in the American lands. So they called us Moro because they mean we was heathens and unbaptized Indians because we wasn't Christianified, because we were living off the land in the wild, right? We wasn't civilized. So they called us unclean and unbaptized. We had to get baptized and clean by their God. And they got expressions like in the time of the Moors are frequently heard when discussing the history of the region. With the word Reyeno, people refer to Indians who were born in the times of the Spanish, and as some of them acquired fame and careers as shamans. So we acquired fame as shamans But at the same time, they still considered us unclean. So they seen the gifts and the abilities of the shamans on this land, and they hated it at the same time because it was a power that they couldn't tap into or they wanted for themselves, which they done. That's why you see a lot of these people that's Caucasians and stuff. Now they're saying they're shamans now because over the years they stole our traditions and stuff from us and started teaching it to each other and taking our titles. So they are still often remembered. The term Moreau and Randy are of course quite offensive when used while discussing genealogy of a local family of high class status and to say of someone. So look, those terms were actually truly offensive, calling us Indians, calling us and all that. So they was using these terms just like the term we were shamans. They started calling us witches and conjurers. We was indigenous, so they started calling us the N words, blacks, savages, Negroes, and we have embraced these terms because they keep changing our titles, trying to get us to forget what we are. So we stay connected to these terms like Negro, black, colored, African American, N words, all that stuff because they all stem from what we were in the beginning, which was a Moorish people. That they could not stand, okay? They could not stand us. They really couldn't. They really couldn't, y'all. So look, that is the message for today. That is really all I got to talk about. I knew it was going to be a little longer. This is the first time I've been this long on the live before, so I hope y'all enjoyed it. There's some very valuable information on here. A lot of this stuff I'm going to post. A lot of this stuff I've already posted over the years, but I repost stuff. I repost stuff over time when this ain't been on here for a while. Very good, my sister. Keep cooking. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for liking the video. And thank y'all for who sent the video. But yes, if y'all want to share this with other people, I highly recommend. And I tell people, this video is not just for black people or melanated people. It's for everybody. Because now everybody getting turned up right now. Everybody's starting to figure out what's really going on. They see. Because now it's affecting everybody now. So everybody, I don't care if they white, Chinese, Caucasian, Mexican, if they can understand English, because this is the language I'm using on here, they need to hear this too. They need to hear this too. Everybody need to hear this. All right? So you can see what the heck going on out here. I think I'm trying to make sure I didn't leave nothing out, y'all, but I don't think I did. I think I covered everything. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. So thank y'all so much. Like I said, if y'all would like to get readings by me, you can get a reading by me at Sacred Energy Exchange 222@gmail.com. I do readings. I do different kinds. So if you want a tarot, you want an oracle one, I do different ones. Cartomancy ones. You just pick and I'll send it over to you so you can know what I provide. If y'all would like to support my shop, y'all can go to goddessontherise.life and purchase y'all something to support me as well, to help. Y'all know I got a lot of stuff coming. I told you I'm going to be traveling more this year because I have to start building my business in other areas and stuff. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of trips coming up that I, definitely could use support with. If you can purchase something or get a reading by me, it's all going towards, of course, me taking care of myself. The vendor fees I be having to pay to work it because these vendor fees ain't getting cheap. It's tough out here. So people vendor fees is $400, $500, some of them $600. They cost y'all. And that's what I either got to get my orders here or I got to keep moving around and I have to pay for places to stay, lodging, bus tickets, flights. I got tickets out, flights and all that, so that's stuff I need help with. And I also take donations, so y'all know I got Venmo, Goddess on the Rise. I got PayPal, goddessontherise.life@gmail.com, and I got Chime and Cash App is Copper Queen, and Queen has 33 in it for the E's. Queen, Copper Queen. If y'all would like to send donations for stuff that y'all learned here today, nothing is too big and nothing is too small. I appreciate it all, okay? And it's all needed, all right? So look, y'all, that's really all I got for y'all today. I'm gonna ring this bell. I know I didn't ring the bell coming in, but I'm gonna ring this bell, send this energy to spirit, y'all. Earth, air, fire, water, spirit, y'all. Until next time, happy Friday, happy Holy Day, happy Venus Day, happy Black History Month, as they say. Peace, love, and balance. Copper Queen checking out.